Good evening. As Chair of Gwinnett County Board of Education, I hereby call to order the July 16th business meeting of the board. I extend a warm welcome to everyone present for tonight's meeting. The board, Dr. Estrella, and I are pleased that you have joined us as we celebrate achievements, review information, and make policy decisions related to the effective operations of Gwinnett County Public Schools. Before we begin, I'd like to draw your attention to the screen on my left, where you'll see the board's core beliefs and commitments, which will be on display during the school board business meetings. These statements aren't just words. They reflect the guiding principles that shape responsibility to foster a learning environment and also make sure that every student can thrive. I encourage you to take a moment to read them carefully, as they are central to the work we do together as educators, leaders, and community members. As part of the board's new meeting schedule, the board held its monthly work session earlier this week. During work sessions, board members take time to learn more about student learning, school operations, and district initiatives. We also talk through topics that may come up before the school board at the business meeting. You can view the full work session recording now on our website and also review meeting materials and reports on the board agenda online next week. The monthly business meetings of the board are open to the public. We are grateful for the number of people interested in our schools who are in attendance tonight. This business meeting is when the board conducts its business of governing the school system in a public manner. The business meetings are not meetings with the public. Therefore, comments from the audience will be confined to the time designated for citizens to address the board according to policy BCBI. Speakers are encouraged to maintain appropriate meeting decorum, follow appropriate protocols, protect the confidentiality of students, prevent defamatory statements, and ensure impartiality of the board. The board requests that speakers not speak directly about an individual, students, parents, or staff members. Thank you for embracing these qualities and modeling them for our children and our community during tonight's business meeting. Please silence your cell phones or communication devices before we begin the proceedings. Now, I would like to call to order the Pastor Lucas Lawrence of the Gwinnett County Church of Christ to lead us into a moment of reflection, followed by the North Gwinnett High School Air Force JROTC under the leadership of Lieutenant Colonel Sonny Kim, U.S. Air Force retired, Technical Sergeant Paul Evans, U.S. Air Force retired, who will present the colors and lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, Chair Dr. Johnson Morgan, the board members, and Dr. Estrella. I would like everyone to please stand as we go through this moment of reflection. I am Lucas Lawrence, and I bring to you greetings and well wishes on behalf of the Gwinnett Church of Christ. I want to thank you for asking me to be a part of tonight's meeting. As we come together, may we demonstrate wisdom, integrity, respect, and grace in our interactions with each other. Let us acknowledge that the many good things around us and acknowledge the ways we can be blessings to others. Thank you to those in this audience who lend their leadership and service to our schools and community. We also extend our appreciation to the many individuals, our families, the teachers, and others in the community who support public education and our public school students. Finally, let us keep the children of Gwinnett County in mind as we speak, act, and make decisions tonight. With that in mind, I invite you to join me in a moment of silence for personal reflection on our students, our school district, and our greater community. Thank you. I ask that you remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Pastor Lawrence and the North Gwinnett High School Air Force JROTC for being part of this meeting. Now we'll move on to the adoption of the agenda. Dr. Estrella, do you have any changes to the agenda?
I have no changes to the agenda.
Board members, are there any changes to the agenda? Board members, do I have a motion regarding the agenda?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda for the July 16, 2026 business meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. It's unanimous. We move now to the consent agenda items for approval. The consent agenda items for approval for the Board of Education is to act on routine items of business as a series. Our first item on the consent agenda is 4.2 purchase orders. This is an informational item which is comprised of a monthly report listing all purchase orders of $2,000 or more. For each item, the following are identified: the vendor, items purchased, destination of the items, budget amount, dollar amount, and the method of purchase. Board members, are there any comments or questions? The actions items on the consent agenda are as follows. 4.3 RFP-2105 NR Accidental Damage Protection ADP Plane Services for Chromebook Repairs. 4.4 B-2357 KM On Demand Electrical Services. 4.5 B-2621BM Chromebooks. 4.6 Approval of minutes for monthly work session held on June 16th and the monthly business meeting held on June 18th. Do I have a motion regarding the action items on the consent agenda?
I make a motion that we approve the items 4.3 to 4.6 on the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, I have a question. I see on the purchase order consent agenda, the purchase order list, a number of purchases aligned to vendor IDR, INC, and was hoping that the district could shed some light on the services being required or quoted by that vendor.
Can you repeat the code?
IDR, INC is the vendor. I believe it's for tech services or consulting.
Thank you for the question, Dr. Simmons. This is part of our professional services. These are POs written against the consent agenda item the board approved in May, which was our professional services agreement. So this is our annual renewal for strategic resource augmentations via contractors who support the infrastructure solutions and applications that run our systems and support our business functions. We have about 70 vendors, and we use about 35 or so of those vendors. IDR is one of those.
So they're consulting services.
They're contractors. So
Contractors.
Yes, ma'am. They
Okay.
do specific, either PeopleSoft administrators or telecom engineer, app developer.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And then my last question is, and it's not, I don't think this is pertaining to your group. There is a line item for the vendors, education, training, and research associates, a line item in the amount of $1.2 million, if the district can shed some light there.
Can you repeat?
Education, training, and research associates in the amount of approximately $1.2 million.
Thank you for the question, Dr. Simmons. It's related to textbooks associated with sex ed resources in the new adoption.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have a general question around the Chromebooks. I know this is for the beginning of the school year, and students will be receiving these Chromebooks. Can you share with our community a bit more about the process on if they need a Chromebook, how they would get it? I know it's one to need, and if you can kind of just share a little bit for the community.
Sure. So it's one-to-one. We assign a Chromebook to every student. And this purchase is really, we haven't done a refresh since we went one-to-one. And so this will be our first refresh. This was specifically called out in SPLOS 7. I will say, Dr. Therese, we're not going to do a large purchase pending the board's approval right now. We'll get what we need for our stock, but right now Chromebooks are about $400. 4 months ago, they were about $250. So we'll get what we need for now, and then when we begin collecting SPLOS funds later in the spring and prices come down, we'll make a larger purchase. But we'll get what we need now to make sure every student has a device, plus 5% overage. So when the company that fixes the Chromebooks picks it up from the student, we give them a spare until the Chromebook comes back.
There's a cost associated with the refurbishing of the computers, right? And
Yes, ma'am,
kind of
that's on
booked
the
in.
consent agenda item
Right.
tonight for Stratix. They come and pick
Right.
up the device and within 5 days, bring it back to the student.
Okay, that's great. And is it one-to-one? Does every student, or is it one to need?
One-to-one. We have 200,000 Chromebooks.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on, Chief Spota. Got a question for you. Related to the same item, can you help us understand why the cost was double from the previous award amount for the Chromebooks?
For Chromebooks, so that was back in 2024. We had some ESSER funds left over, and so we purchased about 40,000 Chromebooks. And so that was the first refresh, if you will, of Chromebooks we've done since 2021. So this amount will allow us to purchase about 40% of our fleet. We really need to kind of catch up a little bit, and that's the reason for that amount.
And like you said, no more ESSER funds. This is all district money.
This is SPLOS, this will come out of SPLOS 7,
SPLOS.
that's correct.
Okay,
At-
okay.
At $400, though, at $34 million, that's about, 86,000 Chromebooks. If we wait a little bit and it goes down to, let's say, 375, that's 92,000 Chromebooks. So it's a big difference if we just hold a little bit.
Thank you. Board members, do I have a motion regarding the action items on the consent agenda? Oh, I'm sorry, call the question. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. It's unanimous. We move now to the report from Dr. Estrella.
At this time, we will have Chief Human Resource Officer Kathy Harden provide an update for staff reports. Chief Harden?
Good evening, Chairperson Dr. Johnson Morgan, board members, Dr. Estrella. The HR team and I are pleased to present the Human Resources Report for the month of July. As you can see, we currently have 22 vacant teaching positions for the 26-27 school year. Teacher vacancies have decreased from 68 last month to 22 this month, and we remain below where we were this time last year when vacancies were at 29, which is a 24% reduction. Our team remains focused on reaching full teaching teacher staffing by the start of the school year, and we are on positive trajectory to meet that goal. And you can see the historical year-over-year trend as requested by the board. And you can see for the first time in a really long time, the vacancies are equal title and non-title. So we have historically seen nearly a 2-to-1 ratio with our vacancies. So we have really been focusing on ensuring that everyone is getting what they need. Paraprofessional vacancies, we currently have 47 vacancies, and with a significant improvement from 81 this time last year, which is a 41% reduction. We have 57 paraprofessionals have been hired since last month's board report. Our team remains focused on reaching full paraprofessional staffing by the start of school as well. And you can see the month-over-month trend and the year-over-year trend. New teacher hires for the 26-27 school year, we have hired a total of 1,149 new teachers. Regular ed, 772, and you can see the breakdown by level. 377 special ed teachers with breakdown by level, and you can also see the breakdown Title I by non-title schools. Our teacher attraction and recruitment, recap of the 26 hiring season, ongoing activities, our campus recruitment connected with 5,663 candidates this year, our strategic marketing and advertising, which is mixed media, driven by data to increase applicant traffic and pipeline contacts, and addition of digital out-of-home, our pipeline development with technical colleges for paraprofessionals, Teach for America, and HB1 sponsorships. Our candidate sourcing has multiple strategies to identify and recruit passive candidates, and our Grow Your Own recruitment, our future signing day, substitute teachers, paraprofessionals, and teacher residents. For January, we did the Student Teacher Mixer event, Coffee and Careers weekly virtual events, advanced hiring for those schools that went into last summer with vacancies still open. They were able to begin early hiring before we opened the hiring season across the district. In February, we had our signature teacher recruitment event held here at the ISC. We also participated in the Metro RESA Job Fair. In March, our teacher and paraprofessional hiring event at Cool Ray Field. In April, our teacher and paraprofessional event at Discovery High School. And then in May, our teacher and parapro event here at the ISC. And then in June and July, local school interview days. The recruitment team continues to expand community-based outreach efforts to connect with prospective employees and increase awareness of career opportunities in GCPS. Tonight, the team is participating in the Mall of Georgia's Back to School Bash, engaging families, community members, and potential candidates while sharing information about current employment opportunities across the district. This event provides another avenue to strengthen GCPS's visibility as an employer of choice and to build interest in both instructional and support positions ahead of the new school year. Our Summer Employee Onboarding, or NEO, continues to be a major collaborative effort across human resources in several key departments. We will host 26 sessions 2 to 3 days per week to ensure a smooth and informative onboarding experience for our incoming staff. Each session is made possible by the collaboration and expertise of more than 25 GCPS team members representing a range of essential services, including benefits, leave, compensation, employee clearance, and the GCPS Foundation, recruitment, and talent management. This cross-functional support helps new hires feel equipped, welcomed, and prepared to begin their journey in GCPS. And you can see we've onboarded to date 1,057 new employees through those sessions. Each year, HR compliance training is a required learning experience for all GCPS employees and serves as our primary tool for ensuring staff understand important legal and regulatory responsibilities, including mandated reporting, suicide prevention, ethics, sexual harassment, and seclusion and restraint. As a part of our ongoing commitment to supporting all employees, we have been intentionally focused on making this training more accessible. This year, Human Resources partnered with our custodian managers and school nutrition managers to better understand barriers that may prevent some employees from successfully completing the training. The consistent feedback we received was that language accessibility remains one of the most significant challenges. In response to that feedback, we are expanding our language offerings for the 26, let me just scroll down. Sorry. For the 26-27 school year to include Romanian and French. And so we're pleased to share that we will have translation services for those 2 additional languages. This concludes the HR report, and I stand ready to respond to any questions that you may have.
I just have a quick question.
Sure.
The back-to-school bash at Mall of Georgia, was that something coordinated by the mall or by us, or
It
talk?
was
a little more
coordinated
about
by the mall, and we were extended an invitation to participate with them and accepted, and certainly took advantage of that.
that? That's excellent, yep. Thank you.
I appreciate the report. Taking a look at the new teacher hire slide, I see that we hired 1,149 teachers total. I think that's correct. Can you share with me how many Title I schools do we have in the district?
The district, I can't say the number exactly off the top of my head, but we're about 60% title
We are about
versus
60%
9.
Title
Yeah,
I.
we are majority title, yes.
Has that been increasing over the years?
Yes, it has
It
been
has
year over
been.
year.
Okay. Do you all have that information available in terms of how it's been changing over the years that you can share with the board?
Yes, we can share with the board in the weekly update some trend data around
Okay,
that.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for this presentation and just the continuous efforts around recruiting. And this is historically, since I've been on the board, that I've seen the success of both the Title I and non-title schools being filled. So thank you for that. So I have a question related to the new teacher orientation. There was a program that you briefly mentioned. Can you talk a little? It seemed like it was a really exciting, robust new effort around helping teachers who don't have certification, but a pathway to get there. Can you share a little bit more about that and also talk about how paraprofessionals can possibly engage in that as well if they do?
The New Teacher Academy,
Yes.
Which is a new endeavor in partnership with staff development. I'd welcome Dr. Mosley to come up and give some details about just the collaboration with staff development and how that program came to be in existence.
And as you do that, can you also answer if this is also part of what we're seeing in the data as well?
When you say the data, you mean
The hiring.
the
yeah.
hiring
Yeah,
data?
if that helped with the provisionals and,
Well, I think it will certainly show up in our retention data because these are supports that we're putting around novice and provisional teachers starting this year. And it is a program that has stemmed out of some work that we've done with provisional teachers over the last 3 years.
Good evening. So over the last 3 years, we've supported specific clusters with alternatively certified teachers through our AltCert Institute. And so through those pilot activities, we were ready to scale it district-wide. So we partnered with Teaching and Learning and the Office of Staff Development to create the New Teacher Academy based on all the things that we learned through our AltCert Institute. So we invited all of our teachers that we hired who are first-year teachers on a provisional certificate, so they have not completed a teacher preparation program, to engage with us beginning at New Teacher Orientation. That was our kickoff for NTA. And the purpose is to bridge that gap in the first year before those teachers are admitted into their teacher preparation program. So we're focusing on those essential skills like high-quality Tier 1 instruction, building classroom expectations and relationships with students, as well as technology integration. And so we'll have 3 additional learning days throughout the year, and we'll continuously be building on that, and then making sure that those teachers meet the requirements to extend their provisional certificate as they enter into their teacher prep program.
is mentoring part of that program?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I want to again commend you all for that. I was quite impressed to see the attendance there for that particular program, so congratulations.
And we'll provide additional updates next month as well.
Okay, great. The next question I have is around the certified staff. In particular, I'm interested around the schools that were deemed at promise. How are we looking around ensuring that we have certified staff? Or remember, there was like a gap around certified staff at the at-needs schools versus other schools. So I'm wondering how are we doing around the certified staff for those schools?
So the early hiring is one of the strategies that we have employed to really give those schools who struggle with attracting certified staff later on in the hiring process. They are having the opportunity to post and fill positions before we actually open the official hiring season. So we look at the data from the end of the previous school year to see which schools have closed schools with vacancies still remaining. We look at the turnover data and those types of things to help us determine which schools will qualify for early hiring. And so those are data-driven decisions that we extend those courtesies to for the early hiring.
I see it as a both and, but certainly it's important that we're like engaging in getting the new staff,
Yes.
but I just wanted to kind of get an idea around how we're making sure that we're still making, not having to train new teachers in schools
Yes.
that really need more certified experienced teachers.
Absolutely. And so that program allows those schools that are struggling to get folks in the building the opportunity to get to those certified staff first before the
right.
rest of the industry is getting to those staff. Because remember, we've got how many districts opening up hiring the same week that we open up hiring. And so we give those schools the opportunity to get in front.
For the certified staff
Yes.
first. So that's great.
Yes.
Thank you for the effort around that, because we did see that there was some disparity around that. And
Yes.
so really appreciate the effort. Thank you.
I do have one more question. You mentioned the New Teacher Academy. I'm interested in how that complements, or maybe not, the Teach for America efforts that you all have put in place. Can you provide us any feedback around how those two might complement each other or the effectiveness of Teach for America staff in the district?
We have seen positive outcomes with Teach for America staff, the level of support and engagement that the program provides to the Teach for America candidates that are located throughout our schools has been robust. Those staff members have remained within GCPS, so we've seen high retention from those coming from Teach for America. With regards to whether or not there's paralleled or correlated relationship between the new NTA program and Teach for America, they are not related to one another. Certainly, we can look at what supports are happening that may be common between the two, but there's no correlation between the two.
So in light of I hear you saying with the Teach for America teachers, they tend to stay in education. Have we expanded Teach for America within our district, or is that not necessary? I know we still have some openings. I'm just curious around if it's been effective. Have we considered expanding it?
We did undergo some budget cuts in HR. We did reduce from 15 to 8, I believe, this year as a result of reducing our budget spend in HR. And that was one of the programs that we reduced services with for this year. We are at capacity for what we budgeted for. We budgeted for 8, and we have 8 placed in the district.
So there are additional expenses that come with
Yes.
placing TFA teachers?
Yes, there is a per placement
Okay.
fee associated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do I have a motion regarding the monthly human resources report? Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Estrella.
Board members, you have heard of the monthly human resource reports. This evening, during executive session, that included a list of all employees being hired, taking leave of absence, and terminating employment. I would like to call attention to the leadership appointments that were discussed in executive session and are being recommended to you for approval, along with other personnel mentioned in executive session. Chair, Dr. Therese, I recommend approval of the monthly human resources report.
Board members, do I have a motion regarding the monthly human resources report?
I make a motion to approve the monthly human resources report.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? No discussion? Okay. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. It's unanimous. Dr. Estrella?
At this time, we will have Chief Finance Officer Masana Millard provide the monthly financial update. Chief Millard?
Good afternoon, Board Chair Dr. Therese, board members, Superintendent Dr. Estrella. At this time, I'd like to walk us through the General Fund Dashboard Report. This is the 11th month in fiscal year 2026. As you know, we are going to be closing our financial year, June, pretty shortly. So this is the report from me. Focusing now on revenues, they're slightly above expectations. Total revenues are ahead of budget as of May by approximately $16.6 million or 0.69%. Local revenues are slightly higher, above or under budget, I should say, less than 1%, about 0.48%. This is, of course, still driven by timing collections. We've pretty much collected most of our property taxes by this time. In state revenues, we are about $22 million above budget, or about 1.92%. Of course, this is really the primary driver of the positive variance in total revenues at this time. Federal revenues are also above budget by about $316,000. This is a really modest increase. This comes from our programs like ROTC. But overall, our revenue performance is still very favorable, slightly, and stable. Looking now at our expenses, salaries are under budget by about 1.33% or $20.5 million. Benefits under budget again, about 1.93%. Other expenditures, of course, a little bit under 19, almost 20%. So, of course, these variances in the savings that we have on expenses also are contributing to our budget being under, and, of course, our revenues being over, contributing to fund balance. So at this time, we will be monitoring the maintaining state QBE revenue that's coming in at the end of the fiscal year, which, again, will probably be a very large payment, which it normally is. Accrual payments, and then our final expenses through the end of the fiscal year. We will have our preliminary June report next, and then, of course, the audited financial statements. Our external independent auditors are already doing field work to conduct the audit, so we have to finish closing the books. And as you know, we have a lot of new state laws, so finance is busy. This concludes my report. And of course, we have just a reminder of our public hearings coming up on the final millage rate process. Just a reminder, those dates are July 27th. We have two public hearings, one at 11 and 6. And then we have our final public hearing, the 3rd, on August 3rd. We, of course, invite our constituents to either contact us as well. We're always accessible in business and finance with questions ahead of time. But we will be sharing information with the board shortly. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Millard. Are there any questions?
Chief Millard, can you just
Yes.
briefly share the variance around the expenses along the line of other? It looks like we're under almost 20%. Can you just shed a little light there? What's lending toward, what's contributing to that variance?
Some of it, of course, is our vacancies. We're still carrying vacancies, especially in our central office. It is also timing, so the variance between where we are at in May's budget versus what we should be spending. And of course, we've had hiring freezes or hiring delays. So again, there's been some delay in even hiring positions. So all of these things are also contributing to savings.
So with those positions, that wouldn't fall under just salaries and benefits.
Yes, salaries and benefits.
So I'm looking
associated
particularly at
benefits.
the other line, the other expenses.
These are all your non-personnel costs. So equipment purchases, materials, supplies, but we still have quite a lot that's going to come in. Utilities, lots of things hit us at the end of the fiscal year as well. which is going to increase this amount quite a bit.
So this variance isn't.
Oh, yes, there's definitely
It's
timing.
not something to be unexpected. This is typical to be this almost 20% variance at this point in the year.
We typically have, we've been, I think, doing a much, I think, trying to look for those efficiencies as much as possible, and where we can save or not have to move forward on a spend, we would do that. Assessing some of the things that we've been doing over the last few years has created some savings, but there's still obviously timing of certain things that take place, and you're going to have periods in time where you're spending at a much higher level. The beginning of school is a good example, beginning of the fiscal year. And then towards December, lots of things becoming due for renewals or ending. And so this is probably going to go up. You have summer school programs as well that we have to close out. Lots of things happening still in May in terms of payments.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Given that we are going to be going through our millage rate hearings, we've already kind of made some idea, we've already shared kind of the impact of funding with our millage rate and also the impact of some of the decreases in funding based on legislation that has recently impacted our school budget. We have some legislators here in the audience. I see them out there. So I'm going to, hey, y'all. So while y'all here, I'm going to take the privilege to say that we need to update our QBE formula. And so it's really important that formula hasn't been updated. And I know we have people here in the room and our legislators here have been advocating for the update of the QBA formula. But this is an example of some of the impacts that we're going to, have now as we continue to look at a systemic defunding of public education and really thinking through how we can continue to invest and find a variety of ways to ensure that we're not decreasing our budgets, but also finding ways to continuously invest in ways that really focus on bridging those gaps. And so I look forward to continuously looking at that. And one thing I know that you all are watching, Mr. Spoto mentioned about the Chromebooks and looking at the cost and how that may fluctuate based on the market, I guess, trades, imports, exports stuff. So one of the things that, I guess that's one thing you'll be looking at in addition to other things, but that's something I certainly appreciate that consciousness around looking at that, because you could have said we're going to go head on, but I think what you're doing is this both and approach around looking at what can you fix with what you have, as well as buying and getting what you need as you need it for new items. So I think that same mindset certainly would be helpful just throughout. So thank you. All right. Do I have a motion regarding the monthly financial report? Oh, I'm sorry. We've already done it. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. It's unanimous. Dr. Shreya?
So since you went to the vote, so I had item 5.2 in the monthly financial report. Since you approved it, we'll move on. So item 5.3 on the agenda, 2022 to 2027 Building Programs and Construction Report is for your information only. This report is a listing of all construction projects funded by the year 2022 to 2027 Buildings Program budget. It also provides the current status and scheduled completion dates of each project. If any of you would like an update on any specific project, Interim Chief of Operations Patrick Burke can provide you with that information.
All right, given that we don't have any questions, now we'll move on to the student discipline. By law, matters related to student discipline records, expulsions, and/or potentials for readmission must be discussed in executive or closed session. Georgia law further requires board members to affirm in public business meeting the action taken in executive session. The first item of business under student discipline is a monthly tribunal summary. Board members, do I have a motion regarding the monthly tribunal summary as presented in executive session?
I make a motion to affirm the action taken in executive session regarding the monthly tribunal summary.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. It's unanimous. Now we'll move on to the discipline appeals as presented in executive session. Board members, do I have a motion regarding the discipline appeals?
I make a motion that we affirm the action taken in the executive session regarding student discipline appeals.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. It's unanimous. Dr. Estrella?
Thank you. Tribunal training providers must be one who has expertise or knowledge of, 1, all student disciplinary provisions in Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated. 2, due process requirements under federal and state law. 3, applicable rules of evidence. 4, leading federal and state judicial and administrative decisions. And 5, applicable ethical standards and the role of the hearing officer and panel members as independent, neutral arbitrators. Georgia complies rules and regulations 160-4-8-15. The Georgia Department of Education recommends that continuing education for discipline tribunal hearings officers be provided at least every 2 years after the initial training. Guidance to accompany State Board Rule 160-4-8-15P, July 12, 2026. I recommend approval of the Law Office of Pereira, Kimball, Kingsinger, and Nugent LLP as a tribunal training provider for Gwinnett County Public Schools in accordance with OCGA 20-2-759.
Board members, do I have a motion regarding the tribunal training provider?
I make a motion to approve the designation of the Law Office of Pereira, Kirby, Kinzinger, and Nguyen, LLP as the tribunal training provider for Gwinnett County Public Schools in accordance with OCGA 20-2-759.
Is there a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. I want to go back to the monthly financial report, if we don't mind. Dr. Estrella, we had a presentation by Ms. Masana Millard, and we had a discussion regarding questions and comments, and I want to provide the opportunity for you to share that item, and then we can go in a motion for that.
Thank you, Chair Dr. Therese. Item 5.2 in the monthly financial report as of May 30, 2026, the reports are from the financial records kept at the central office and do not include local school financial records that reflect receipts and disbursements at each school. It also includes a copy of our sales tax receipts from East Plus 5. I recommend approval of the monthly financial report.
Board members, do I have a motion regarding the monthly financial report and also the addition for SPLOS 6?
SPLOS 6, oh, sorry.
I make a motion to approve the May 30th, 2026 monthly financial report.
Is there a second? Second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. It's unanimous. Dr. Estrella?
The purpose of the Gwinnett County Chamber's strategic leadership visit is to take a select group of both Gwinnett and regional leaders in government, business, and education to other metro cities, metro countries, and regions to explore innovative ideas and programs that will help build partnerships to impact positive community change. The strategic leadership visit is from September 16th through the 18th of 2026. The registration fee and travel will be paid for those board members participating. I am recommending the approval of the board's participation at this conference.
Board members, whom among you will be attending this conference? We did actually go over some of these dates in our work session, and I have some of the information. If we can confirm, we have Mr. Knudsen, Mr. Gasper, and myself for the strategic leadership visit. Is there anyone else who would like to attend the strategic leadership visit? Anyone else? Okay. Board members, I need a motion to authorize the members to represent the Gwinnett County School Board at the 2026 Strategic Leadership Visit.
I make a motion to approve Steve Knudsen, Steve Gasper, and Therese Johnson Morgan to represent us at the Gwinnett Chambers 2026 Strategic Leadership Visit to Tampa Bay, Florida, which will be held September 16 through 18, 2026.
I have a motion by Mr. Knudsen. Is there a second? Okay. Is there any discussion?
While I wish I could attend, I do have a conflict on those days, but I also look forward to supporting Dr. Estrella, as I believe she'll be delivering a state of the school system around that time as well. So I look forward to supporting you at that event. Sometimes we have to divide and conquer as a board.
And I was just going to say, I'd also like to add, echo my colleague, I would love to attend this year's strategic leadership visit. I attended last year, and it was an incredible experience connecting with members of Gwinnett County and meeting with other county officials, local government officials. Unfortunately, I have a scheduling conflict, but as mentioned, we divide and conquer, and I look forward to hearing all that you all learn.
And I know one thing in particular, this session will be also focused on a part of it on special education and special needs. And I do think it's important for us to continue to learn and improve in ways on how we can, just do better around our special needs community and our special needs students. So I look forward to learning, taking the opportunity to learn as much as I can to be able to support our school system and our community, our teachers and our students as a board member, and support our superintendent, Dr. Estrella, as well as she leads and operationally guide us through this and supporting the needs of our special needs students. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. It's unanimous. I'm sorry, it's not unanimous. Yeah, it is, sorry. Oh, God. Dr. Estrella.
Thank you. The National Organization Consortium of State School Boards Association will host its Federal Advocacy Conference on September 21st through the 23rd to 2026 in Washington, D.C. The conference is attended by school board members nationwide and provides for local input concerning America's education agenda, as well as the opportunity to dialogue with members of Congress and the administration. The conference registration fee and travel will be paid for those board members participating. I am recommending the approval of the board's participation at this conference.
Board members, whom among you will be participating in this conference? I do have a note from our work session yesterday. I have Mr. Knudsen and myself. Anyone else?
Aye. Ms. Stone.
All right, do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve Ms. Stone, Mr. Knudsen, and Dr. Therese Johnson Morgan to represent us at the Consortium of State School Boards of Association Federal Advocacy Conference, which will be held September 21st to 23rd, 2026.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. It's unanimous. Next, we will move on to constituent comments regarding policy and school operations. The first speaker we have speaking tonight is Holly Teray. Please approach the podium closest to you, and next is Mariah Telly.
Thank you. I come to you as a Gwinnett County resident and on behalf of Citizens Defending Freedom to request that the board review and clarify district policy regarding staff face coverings when they affect classroom instruction. My concern is how this policy affects the safety and learning environment of our children. Georgia's current K-12 English Language Arts standards emphasizes the practices domain for grades 9 through 12, which includes collaboration, presentation skills, and engagement in spoken dialogue. Visible facial expression and articulation support effective modeling of tone, emphasis, and clear communication in these areas. Research in educational psychology shows that positive teacher facial expressions, particularly smiling, are established components of effective teaching. Smiling signals warmth and approachability. It fosters rapport, reduces student anxiety, and increases engagement and motivation. A widely cited meta-analysis of 81 studies found strong correlations between teacher nonverbal behaviors, including positive facial expressions, and students' perceived learning and effective learning. Major teacher evaluation frameworks explicitly recognize these behaviors. The Marzano teacher evaluation model lists teachers' smiles or nods at students when appropriate as evidence of using verbal and nonverbal behaviors that indicate affection for students. Students who are deaf, hard of hearing, or have auditory processing or speech language needs, such as my own children, under IEPs and Section 504 plans often rely on visible lip movements and facial cues for equal instructional access. How does the district ensure these students retain meaningful access consistent with federal disability law? GCPS issues picture identification badges to all employees and maintains extensive security camera systems across our campuses. When a full face covering is in use, how does the district ensure rapid and unambiguous identification emergencies when reviewing security footage or confirming staff identities as they enter and exit the building? I asked the board to confirm that any standard applied to staff face coverings is clearly defined, applied consistently across the district, and supported by a transparent process that includes documented analysis of impact on instructional effectiveness, student access, and security protocols. I am not asking the board to address any individual employee, only policy clarity and consistent application. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Next speaker, we have Mariah Telly. I think it's Myra.
Yes, that's correct. Right. Good evening, everyone. Right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Myra Telly. I am a Gwinnett County Public Schools alumni, and I'm also a former teacher. Like many people, I saw the recent online discriminatory comments that were directed at a Muslim teacher here in Gwinnett County. When I saw those comments, I thought back to my own experience when I was teaching at Dacula High School in 2016. In 2016, I received an anonymous threatening note in my classroom regarding my hijab. This situation received a lot of social media attention and national and global news coverage. Reflecting on my own experience from then, and now witnessing a similar incident targeting another teacher today, I had a few thoughts that I wanted to share with everyone tonight. Firstly, most acts of bias and hate never actually make headlines. They happen quietly in classrooms and hallways. They affect students and teachers of every background, and many go unreported or unnoticed, but the impact is very real. That's why I hope that in this moment, that is why I hope this moment is more than a response to just one incident. I hope it is a reminder that building a school system where students and staff are comfortable is ongoing work that requires constant attention, and I'm confident Gwinnett County Public Schools is committed to this cause. Secondly, I really appreciate the district's willingness to engage with community leaders from different backgrounds. Those relationships matter because they help district leaders hear concerns early, understand different perspectives, and build trust across our community. I hope that work continues, and I hope it continues to grow. Finally, Gwinnett County Public Schools has demonstrated a strong commitment to recruiting outstanding educators from diverse backgrounds, and that benefits our students. We hope the district continues providing teachers and staff with the support, training, and clear protocols they need to maintain a comfortable learning environment for everyone. I'll close with this. I remember back in 2016 when I had my personal experience, I received a lot of questions from my own students, from my coworkers, my colleagues, and my friends in my community. And their questions were usually around the district's response to this situation. And I have no doubt the teacher impacted today will have the same questions. The community is paying attention because they care deeply about our schools and our community. That's why it's so important the district's response to this kind of an incident reflects genuine care and meaningful support, not something that feels like a scripted PR statement. We are confident this leadership team will continue to advocate for and support everyone who calls this county their home. Our community stands ready to partner with you in every way possible to help make our school system the very best it can be. Thank you, and best wishes for the next school year.
Thank you. And next we have Tanisha Banks. After Tanisha Banks, we have Ryan Atkins. She's scratched out. Is she scratched out?
Good evening, board members. I didn't come here to complain today. I came to say thank you. Thank you for recognizing what parents, teachers, students, and this community have been saying for years. When schools are struggling, pretending everything is fine doesn't improve student outcomes. Looking the other way isn't a strategy, and putting a fresh coat of paint on an old problem doesn't fix the foundation. Thank you for choosing a superintendent who has committed to looking beneath the surface and conducting an equity audit so every child, not just some children, have the opportunity to succeed. Thank you for choosing a leader who says children come first. That's exactly where our focus belongs. Thank you for recognizing that teachers are professionals who deserve to be heard without fear. The people closest to the problems are often the ones holding the solutions. We should be listening to them, not silencing them. I also want to acknowledge this unanimous vote. I'll be honest, I don't often agree with Mr. Steve Knutson and Mr. Steve Gasper, but today I give credit where credit is due. Thank you for joining the rest of the board and supporting a new direction for Gwinnett County Public Schools. When people with different viewpoints come together for children, that's leadership. Dr. Estrella, thank you for accepting this challenge. You bring impressive credentials, a fresh perspective, and a willingness to ask the questions others have stopped asking. That's how real change begins. And to the women serving on this board, Queens, I see you. Thank you for your courage, your tenacity, and your audacity to lead even when leadership attracts criticism. Keep shining, because the brighter the light, the more obvious the shadows become. Tonight I'm hopeful that this is the beginning of a district measured not by press releases, but by student outcomes. Hopeful that every child will matter, not just in words, but in decisions, budgets, and opportunities. Congratulations, Dr. Estrella, and welcome to Gwinnett County.
Next, we have Mr. Ryan Atkins, and after Ryan is Victoria Vasquez.
Good evening, board members and community members. My name is Ryan Atkins, and I'm the General Director of the Peace Education Department of HWPL Georgia, a local nonprofit organization whose mission is to build a culture of peace through legislation, education, and community activation. We are here once again today to ask your support in expanding the Peace Leadership Academy for Youth, the PLAY program throughout Gwinnett County Schools. For the past 2 years, the PLAY program at Shiloh High School has demonstrated what happens when students are empowered to lead. This student-led organization has organized food drives, written gratitude letters to students and faculty, as well as installed 2 Home Depot-sponsored peace benches, which foster, encourage dialogue, inclusion, and conflict resolution on their campus. These were not adult-led initiatives. They were conceived, organized, and carried out by the students themselves. The impact extends far beyond one school. Over the past several years, our program has reached more than 2,000 students, with 100% participants showing an increase of about 75% average in their perception of peace. What this looks like is students leaving the program more confident in their ability to resolve conflicts peacefully, more aware of bullying and disrespect, as well as better equipped to become positive leaders within their schools. Our evidence-based program has proven effective across diverse student populations, and we believe even more Gwinnett students should have the opportunity to receive it. Today, we respectfully ask for the board's support in helping us pilot the PLAY program within the South Gwinnett cluster. If this is not feasible, we are asking for the opportunity to pilot the program in a cluster with at least 5 schools within it. Specifically, we are requesting the assistance in connecting us with the appropriate district and school leadership, and if possible, providing a letter of support for this pilot initiative. We know this program works because we've seen its impact firsthand. We're not asking you to do the work, we're simply asking that you support. A letter or written statement of support would help us expand this mission and bring peace education and leadership opportunities to more youth in Gwinnett County, protecting and empowering the next generation. Our program also perfectly aligns with the objectives of the GCPS strategic direction of 2020 and through 2030. By investing in student leadership today, we can build safer schools, stronger communities, and a more peaceful Gwinnett County. With that being said, I would like to say thank you, and I have a few other of my team members who will continue to speak, but if I may approach and give you some deliverables. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next we have, thank you. Next we have Victoria Vasquez, and after Victoria is Misty Head.
Good evening, members of the board and our newly welcomed Dr. Alexandra Estrella. We are very happy to have you here. Welcome to Gwinnett, where community actually really matters. We've been to a lot of Board of Education board meetings, and this is one that we really love because we are actually from Gwinnett County. So with that, again, my name is Victoria Vasquez. I am a proud Gwinnett County parent and United States Marine Corps veteran. Thank you to the board again for your service. We all know that service takes a beautiful heart and a consciousness for community. Also, again, congratulations. Dr. Estrella, on your new role as superintendent. And I'm here tonight because I believe that every child, including my own, who is part of the Fort Daniels cluster at the moment, I believe that's a beautiful cluster. And also, we believe that not only my child, but every single child deserves the opportunity to learn not only academics. Academics is not just, the scores and all these things. We are having kids and children who need conflict resolution. Even at 4th and 5th grade, we see conflicts happen in schools, mentioned by my daughter, other families across Gwinnett County. So what we want to do is work with elementary school students for our peace education program, which again is actually a evidence-based program. One thing we did want to mention as well is we have spoke to the State Board of Education, and they have approved the peace education program, but due to the Georgia law, it's based off of every county. Every county has the jurisdiction whether or not what to approve inside of their counties. So what we are asking is for something that is free. that we're trying to provide. Again, all we ask for is your support in bringing the education to the students. Free of cost, free training for teachers, and the heart of volunteers who want to provide support to our students. This summer, actually, alone, we served more than 200 students all over Atlanta, except for Gwinnett. So we want to bridge that gap. We want to provide peace education freely to Gwinnett County. We've seen that they've practically learned skills which even adults should learn today: conflict resolution, empathy, teamwork, communication, and leadership. Seeing the positive impact that these programs had on our students all across Atlanta, they are wanting this education. They want to know how to solve and resolve conflict. They don't want to see fights anymore inside of their schools. I'm inspired by these students to advocate in bringing this and similar opportunities to Gwinnett County so our children can benefit as well. And my hope is that Gwinnett County will explore ways to partner with community organizations. So thank you so much again, and looking forward to working with you guys.
Misty Head. After Misty Head, we have Dexter Ayenne.
Good evening, board members, and welcome, Dr. Estrella. My name is Misty Head, and I both live and am employed in District 1. I want to share something that might not be on everyone's radar. Georgia recently became a majority-minority state. The AJC reported that 52% of our population now identifies as a racial or ethnic minority, compared to 48% who are white. Here in GCPS, that shift is even more pronounced. Of our 178,986 students, only 14.5% are white. The remaining 85.5% represent our American Indian, Asian Pacific Islander, Black, Hispanic, Latino, and multiracial communities. We are, without a question, a diverse district in our staff and our students. And yet, there are voices in our county and beyond who want us to view that diversity as something to fear or apologize for, rather than something to celebrate. I'd like to offer a different perspective. Diversity is an asset. Every day, our staff and students learn from one another, adapting to and honoring each other's cultures as a normal part of school life. That's not a weakness. It's a strength that we should be proud of. Every child, every staff member is unique. That uniqueness deserves to be celebrated, not hidden, and never used to make anyone feel shame. Every student learns differently, and those differences are often shaped by their cultural experiences. Our teaching must make room for that. To meet students where they are, we rely on two educators every teacher knows well: Maslow and Bloom. Maslow's hierarchy of needs tells us that basic needs, food, shelter, and safety, must be met before real learning can begin. Many of our students carry some level of fear about the world around them, and given what they navigate, that's understandable. Bloom's taxonomy maps how thinking grows, from simply remembering facts to the more complex work of creating something new. If we want our students to reach that highest level, using knowledge to create meaning and drive their own growth, we have to first honor what Maslow taught us about need. Some of those needs may be ones we've never had to think about ourselves, if we don't share that same cultural experience. But I know our staff do everything they can to make sure our students' needs are met, so that they can, quite simply, Maslow before they bloom. I'm proud to say that this is my 27th year as an educator, my 21st here in GCPS. And every one of those years has been spent in Title I schools, where the beauty of our diversity is on full display every single day right in front of you. Thank you.
Next, we have Dexter. After Dexter, we have Grace Brown. Dexter, if you could pronounce your last name too, that would be great.
Hi.
You can pronounce your last name.
My last name is Aline.
Aline.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Dexter Aline.
Good evening, members of the GCPS School Board. A warm welcome to Dr. Estrella. I am a retired teacher that gave 28 years of my life to this profession, 18 years in Gwinnett County, 10 years in New York City Public Schools. I would like to open by using two quotations that are favorites of mine. One says, one should always lead by the power of one's example rather than by the examples on one's power. Second one says, if our presence cannot add value, then our absence won't matter. This evening, I do not speak for myself, but for the dedicated teachers that are in the trenches doing this hard work. As we continue to develop as a county, I think that it is imperative that we pay special attention to those men and women that are in the trenches speaking about the problems that they experience. And in order to do that, one of the things that I think that we can focus on is one, we have to look at how we are spending our hard-earned tax dollars. That means that we have to make sure that we are having wraparound services for our students so that they can get the help that they need. So first priority, as my previous commentators have said, is to make sure that our students are taken care of. So that means we may need to have extra psychological services to deal with the real issues that some of our students are facing. And we know that there have been targeted attempts to cut special education, and that's where it's needed the most. Secondly, we need to have those surveys that go out every year to get teacher feedback on what they're seeing in the building. Because if they're the men and women that's dealing with the problem, and their input is vital so that we can make real change within those buildings, so that we can work as a village to get our next generation of students where they need to be. When I taught, I always told my students the first time I saw them, I do not expect you to be perfect. Well, what I do expect you to do is to make good decisions. And if we do that as a community and we look out for each other, I think we are going to make real progress. I understand the challenges and limitations that you guys are facing, but we have to work together as a community so that we can carry the kids where we need to. And I would end by saying this. The late, great Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you say, they will forget what you do, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
Okay. Next, we have Grace Brown. After Grace Brown, we have Alexandra Leconte. Or Leconte.
Good evening, board members and community members, and welcome to Dr. Estrella. I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Grace Brown. I'm with the HWPL Peace Education team. You already heard from our general director on what the Peace Leadership Academy for the Youth is, so I won't elaborate on that anymore. I come to you as a teacher, as a middle school teacher, and I come to you to tell you that this curriculum works. Peace education works for our students. I have been teaching peace education to middle school students for 2 years in a public school setting as a club. The peace education curriculum teaches them things like nonviolence, resilience, collaboration, leadership, critical thinking, all of these wonderful skills that we want them to have. And over the years, teaching to 6th through 8th graders, I've heard from them, I always ask them, what kind of person do they want to be? And a lot of them, being middle schoolers, don't know who they want to be when they grow up yet. But they do know that they want to stay out of ISS, they don't want to get into fights, they want to focus in school, they want to play their sports, right? And they seem like small goals, but it encompasses their whole world. I had one student tell me that her only goal for the whole school year was to not get into any fights. And I had another student tell me that all they wanted to do was pass their classes. Right? So these are the goals that they have, and they come to me having a vague sense of how to accomplish them, but not having the tools that they need. So teaching them the peace education curriculum gives them the ability to reach their goals. By helping them set goals to enact what they learn in the Peace Education program, I have seen them get into less fights. I have seen them stay out of ISS. I have seen them be more respectful to their teachers and to their peers. I've literally heard students say, hey, that's not peaceful. They can catch their own behavior. And they're not perfect at it right away. They're kids. But as they learn, they realize that there's something that they need to change. They're becoming more aware of who they are. They're becoming more aware of who they are in their community. They're becoming more aware of their actions and how they impact other people. So as a teacher, I just want to say that this education works, and it can only reach its fullest potential if it's implemented during the school day and is reinforced in every class. It can be taught during the school day. It can be reinforced by every teacher. And that is the way that it can reach its fullest potential. So I really hope that this board will support us piloting a program in the South Gwinnett cluster or in another cluster, or just giving us the support that we need to expand our programming so that more students can receive the help to reach their goals. I thank you for your time, your commitment to our students, and for your consideration this evening.
Next, we have Alexandra, and after Alexandra, Nikki Tress. How do you pronounce your last name?
LeConte.
LeConte.
Okay, thank you. All right, good evening. My name is Alexandra LeConte, and I'm here today as both a community member and a proud GCPS alum. Growing up in Gwinnett County's public schools helped shape the person I am today. The teachers who believed in me, the classmates who challenged me, and the community that invested in me are the reason today is so meaningful for me right now. I didn't come here as a student anymore, but as someone who has privilege of giving back to the next generation. As I visit schools throughout our county, I meet incredible students and dedicated educators every day. I also see the students need more than academic success, just like Ms. Victoria said. They need opportunities to build empathy, leadership, healthy relationships, and a genuine sense of belonging. That's why I believe in play. I've seen it. I see the impact, and it's amazing. Play is more than a program. It's more of a culture-building initiative. It helps students develop communication, conflict resolution, and strengthening a positive school culture. And I'd like to share one little story from Shiloh High School. Last year, one student shared that we actually made a club called Play at Shiloh High School, and one of the students who was very shy last year, who couldn't even speak, now through Play, as a sophomore today, she discovered the confidence that she didn't have before. Today, as a sophomore, she leads a team of 15 students working with local businesses in the area to bring peace benches to their school. And their vision is simple, but really powerful. It creates a place where students choose conversation over conflict, build friendship, and peacefully work through their differences. And they're just not asking for benches, they're helping create a school culture where students care for one another. And when I see students like her, I'm reminded that leadership can be nurtured, and confidence can grow, and school culture can change one student at a time. Years ago, Gwinnett invested in me. Today, it is an honor to give back by investing in students who will become the next generation of leaders. Thank you for your leadership and your service, and your continued investment in the students of Gwinnett Public Schools. I look forward to partnering with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. We have next Nikki Tress, and after Nikki Tress, we have Antoine Lovelace. Antoine?
Good evening. It's Antoine Lovelace. All right, thank you. Good evening. Thank you. Members of the board, community, and warm welcome to Dr. Estrella, excuse me, apologies. My name is Antoine Lovelace, and I'm a proud father of 3 children in this district. I signed up to speak tonight because I, like many others, am deeply disappointed by what I saw on social media recently. Newly hired teachers and staff targeted simply for being pictured wearing a hijab, before anyone knew anything about qualifications, experience, or the positive impact they may have on students. People rushed to judge based solely on appearances and what they assumed about their faith, despite the posts never discussing such. That is not who we should or need to be. I've also seen similar texts directed toward our new superintendent with comments centered not around leadership or vision, but identity. Whether someone agrees or disagrees with decisions made by district leadership, criticism should be based on performance, ideas, and actions, not race, ethnicity, religion, or appearance. As a member of the A&B Sports and Entertainment IT department, I had the pleasure and privilege to help welcome millions of people from all over the world, no matter race, creed, color, or religion, to our amazing city and metro area for World Cup. So to see the hate spewed online by members of that very same metro area has been very displeasing. Our children are always watching us. They learn how to treat others by watching the adults around them. If we expect students to show kindness, respect, and inclusion in our classrooms, then we must model those same values in our community. As a parent, I do not want my children learning that someone's name, the color of their skin, or the way they dress determines whether they belong. I want them to learn that character matters, integrity matters, compassion matters, and in our schools, the most important question should always be, is this the best person to educate and support our students? I fully support our district's efforts to recruit outstanding educators and leaders from every background. Diversity is not about lowering standards, it is about widening the search so we can find the very best people to serve our students. Great teachers and great leaders come from every race, every religion, every culture, and every walk of life. To any educators listening, I want you to know that hateful voices do not represent us all. There are many parents who are grateful that you choose to serve our children, and we welcome you to our community. Thank you to the board and district leadership for continuing to build schools where every student and every educator has the opportunity to belong, contribute, and succeed. Thank you.
Next, we have John Powell. After John Powell is Socorro Lai. John Powell. After John Powell, we have Socorro Lai.
Okay, Chair, members of the Gwinnett County Board of Education, thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is John Powell, co-founder of Career Arts Pathways Partnership, a newly developing alliance of seasoned design professionals, active and retired, from different industries serving as volunteer career mentors, ready to walk alongside students who are mapping out a career pathway in the design-based industries. My request this evening is twofold. First is an approval for me, a retired architect, to enter into a one-school-year pilot course with Norcross High School, which has its own CTAE program, which I understand now is 3DE, under junior achievement, which might include architecture. My role is to provide structured design mentorship that aligns with Georgia CTA standards. I pledge to work alongside teachers, not in place of them. And my involvement strengthens existing coursework by giving students a real-world design perspective with professional framing and feedback. All educational sessions occur under school supervision. I have a documented, cleared background check through my church. I'm ready to submit to another one if it's mandated by the Gwinnett County Board of Education. The second request is for the Board of Education approval for a pilot arrangement to include a design-based project for a real site which is near Norcross High School and which is familiar to many. The project is the Tom Moreland Interchange Design District Initiative, as per the trifold handed to you. The students get to study the district surrounding one of the most complex and tightest highway intersections in America, Spaghetti Junction. They then create imaginative designs as civic improvements. Unique to the area are several indoor and outdoor sporting venues open to youth: soccer, lacrosse, tennis, pickleball, wall climbing, plus several others. This project helps students build communication and team building skills, portfolios, and confidence. It turns concepts into applied problem-solving tied directly to their respective communities. I do anticipate some cost for materials to display the design of 2D and 3D formats. I'm seeking one funding sponsor or more to cover the cost for these supplies, as well as external costs such as a table-size 3D study model and its location. The students then would place their projects on the model. If successful, then we'll look into an extension for the following school year. Thank you very much.
Next, we have,
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members. Bienvenidas, Dr. Estrella, and staff. A new superintendent brings a rare opportunity, not just for new leadership, but for a new standard. For too long, parents have been told to trust the process. Respectfully, trust is not requested, it is earned. Accountability is not measured by how often a district says it is transparent. It is measured by how transparent it is when the questions become uncomfortable. On July 1st, House Bill 1164 became law, strengthening financial oversight of Georgia school districts. That was not done because oversight is optional. It was done because public education is funded by the public, and public trust requires public accountability. GCPS serves nearly 180,000 students and manages billions of taxpayer dollars. With that comes an extraordinary responsibility, not simply to comply with the law, but to lead by example. So tonight I have three straightforward questions. Has GCPS completed the certifications required under House Bill 1164? Will those certifications and supporting financial documents be made readily and accessible to every taxpayer? Beyond meeting the minimum requirements of the law, what is the board going to do to exceed them? Because excellence is not about doing what is required. It is about doing what is right. It is about doing what is right before someone has to ask. But accountability does not begin and end with a financial audit. It is reflected in the culture of an organization. Parents should never wonder whether advocating for their child will make them a partner or a problem. Teachers should feel empowered to speak honestly, and every decision made in this room should answer one simple question. Does this serve our students, or does it serve the system? The strongest organizations do not fear scrutiny, they invite it. The strongest leaders do not avoid difficult conversations, they welcome them. Because accountability is not an attack on public education, it is the foundation of public trust. This board does not need to convince me it is accountable. It needs to demonstrate it to the taxpayers who fund the district, the educators who dedicate their lives to it, and the families who entrust you with what matters most, their children. Because trust is earned in the daylight, not behind closed doors. The law has changed, the expectations have changed. Now it is time for the culture of GCPS to change. Public education does not belong to this board. It does not belong to administrators. It belongs to the families who place their trust in you every single day. So don't just ask for trust, earn it, protect it, and never forget who you are accountable to. Thank you.
we have Samina Sattar, and after Samina Sattar, we have Mohammed Waraj. If I'm mispronouncing your name, please stand and correct me. Thank you.
That was a correct pronunciation, thank you. Good evening, honorable members of the Gwinnett County Board of Education. I would like to extend greetings of peace to you all. Thank you, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Estrella, and community members for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Samina Sattar, and I come to you as a former Gwinnett County Public School speech-language pathologist, a current Gwinnett County resident, and a proud Muslim American. During my time at Gwinnett County, I felt welcomed and valued, and I saw firsthand how Muslim educators bring real dedication and care to their work. I also established great relationships with families and students with speech and language and other exceptionalities. I don't think my faith and physical appearance negatively impacted any of the progress of the students that I served. I want to give a special shout out to the Muslim educators working in Gwinnett County right now, some of whom are my friends. I know firsthand they're doing great work. Anyone who has the opportunity to learn from these educators is very fortunate. We're in a time where schools across the country are facing teacher shortages. I'm grateful that Gwinnett continues to welcome qualified and diverse educators who are willing to serve our community with excellence and compassion. I'm grateful for the inclusive environment I experienced, and I applaud Gwinnett County Schools for doing a wonderful job representing and welcoming Muslim educators and students. I'm grateful for colleagues from all backgrounds working together toward the same goal, which is helping students learn and grow. I believe our schools are stronger because of this diversity. I ask that you continue to lead with fairness and courage by ensuring that every qualified educator, including Muslim educators, is evaluated on their professionalism and dedication to students, never on their faith or identity. When teachers know they belong, students are the ones who benefit most. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mohammed Warich.
I kind of pronounced it right, Waraich, it's with the accent. Good evening, board members. My name is Mohammed Waraich. I'm a college student, a Gwinnett County resident, and a member of the Muslim community. I'm here tonight because I'm deeply concerned about what happened after Decula Middle School welcomed its new teacher. Instead of being recognized for her qualifications and passion for teaching, she became the target of a public post simply because she was Muslim. That post received hundreds of likes, which was very concerning. This is personal to me. My sister and I both taught alongside said teacher at our local mosque Sunday school. We saw firsthand how patient, compassionate, and dedicated she is with children. She's exactly the kind of teacher any school should be proud to have. When someone like that is targeted because of their faith, it doesn't just affect them, it sends a message to every teacher who simply wants to educate and care for children. I also have 3 younger cousins in Gwinnett County Public Schools. They're proud of their faith, proud of their heritage, and proud to call this community home. They're kind, respectful, and hardworking kids. My concern is not just for the Muslim students, but for the immigrant families as well, from every background, who may now wonder if they'll be judged for who they are instead of their character. I fully respect freedom of speech. It's one of our most important rights, but rights also come with responsibility. When someone repeatedly portrays entire religious or immigrant communities as something to fear, it creates an atmosphere of hostility. History has shown that that kind of rhetoric can lead to discrimination and harassment. That possibility is what concerns me. I respectfully ask this board to continue standing behind every educator and every student, regardless of religion, ethnicity, or immigration background. Please continue responding promptly to credible harassment, continue supporting teachers, and continue showing that Gwinnett's diversity is one of its greatest strengths. I hope every student listening tonight and every teacher in the district hears one clear message. You belong here, you deserve to feel safe here, and you should be judged by your character, not by your faith, your ethnicity, or where your family comes from. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Allison Condiv, and after Allison is Aisha Yaqub Mahmoud.
Good evening, Dr. Therese, members of the board, Dr. Estrella. The Greeks told myths about Atlas, a titan doomed to hold the vault of the heavens upon his shoulders for all eternity. Everything in creation, including Atlas himself, depended on him performing this lonely function. In a similar way, we assign our elected leaders to hold up the framework of our institutions. To hold elected office is to accept an immense burden, whether the rest of the world appreciates it or not. To go a step further and lift our institutions to a higher standard, to lift the sky in a way that makes room for everyone to grow, no matter who they are or where they are from, requires the elected to be more human than human, a titan standard in ethics, in welcoming the stranger, in responsibility to the vulnerable, in a complete relinquishment of the self for the benefit of the whole. It is a heavy burden. As president of the Gwinnett County Association of Educators, I am proud to recognize the women of our Board of Education who have time and again held their mortal souls to a Titan standard. To steward a school system as large as Gwinnett, to lift the ceiling higher with the aim that every student has room to grow and flourish in their own unique way, is no small feat. I also extend a warm welcome to Dr. Estrella, whose reputation for bringing change and fostering a garden of excellence has preceded her. The work of uplifting education is eternal, and it can be grueling, and we are all of us only human. Therefore, GCAE is prepared to lend our collective shoulders to our board allies and new superintendent as they work to uplift the working conditions of every educator and education support professional so that we, in turn, can uplift the learning conditions of every student in our beautiful and diverse county. Thank you for your work and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have Alicia Yaqub Mahmood, and after Aisha is Maiden Gordon.
Hello and good evening, board members. My name is Aisha Yaqub Mahmood, and I'm a proud graduate of North Gwinnett High School, now living here in the metro area. I'm here tonight to speak in support of the Gwinnett County Public Schools hiring practices and the district's efforts to build a more diverse workforce. GCPS's mission talks about wanting every student to feel valued, supported, and one of the district's goals is building a workforce that reflects that. To me, a more diverse workforce is exactly what the county is doing by hiring teachers who look like the very students that are in our public schools. When I first enrolled as a student over 20 years ago at North Gwinnett High School, there wasn't a single teacher, administrator, or faculty member who looked like me. Not a single one. So it means a lot to me to see that students today have a lot more, who have a lot more educators and faculty members and school administrators who understand their traditions, their practices, and who can potentially speak their languages and understand their beliefs. That kind of representation helps kids feel like they truly belong, and belonging is what is a huge part of making sure that they can thrive and learn. So thank you genuinely for continuing to build a staff that reflects how diverse this county is. I hope that you will keep it up and stand behind teachers who are becoming victim to all kinds of harassment. And I thank you again for doing what you are all doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Maiden Gordon. After Maiden Gordon is Natana Dinsmore.
Good evening. Thank you for your time. My name is Megan Gordon, and I'm the policy director at CARE Georgia. We're the state chapter of the nation's largest Muslim civil rights organization. Gwinnett is the most diverse county in the state, and the school district reflects that. Gwinnett Public Schools has a history of supporting the diversity and including providing prayer rooms for Muslim students observing Ramadan and supporting teachers who represent the Gwinnett's population. Each of these moves have been met with online smear campaigns by anti-Muslim extremists who have called on this body to fire Muslim teachers and remove accommodations for Muslim students. Unfortunately, this is not surprising. In recent years, CARE Georgia has recorded a dramatic increase in anti-Muslim discrimination at school, in the workplace, and elsewhere in the state. The Muslim community is currently suffering a wave of Islamophobia unlike anything we have ever seen. People are increasingly comfortable expressing extreme anti-Muslim hate in all areas of life, and so-called online activists are fomenting hate and violence against Muslims in ways that have real-world impact. Just a few days ago, a man was overpowered and arrested as he attempted a shooting at a mosque in New York. 2 days ago, a Muslim man in Utah was stabbed 15 times in an anti-Muslim hate crime. He is currently in critical condition in the hospital. And of course, we all remember last month's deadly shooting at the Islamic Center of San Diego. In this climate, we do not take for granted that a public school district would support its Muslim students and teachers, and we are grateful to Gwinnett County Public Schools for doing the right thing. Thank you for standing strong against harassment and for supporting teachers and students of all faiths. On a personal note, I want to share that I am a proud product of Gwinnett County Public Schools. I went to Norcross and Stripling Elementaries, Summer Hour Middle, and Norcross High School. Growing up in such a diverse environment made me who I am today. I'm equipped for critical thought, for travel, for having friends and colleagues from all walks of life. I'm successful today because I grew up around people who were different from me. That is the beauty of Gwinnett County Public Schools, and I'm deeply grateful to the school district for creating learning environments that support diversity and that allow students to learn from each other just as much as they learn from their teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Maiden Gordon. I'm sorry, we have Natana Dinsmore. All right. Thank you for your comments to our constituents. Now we'll move on to our board comments. Board members?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I would like to thank everyone who came out to tonight's meeting and made their voices heard. Tonight, I wear my Teachers Are Rock Star shirt, a shirt I received while serving as a proud member of the Decula High School Language Arts team. I wear it tonight to recognize all of our new GCPS teachers. Earlier this week, I attended GCPS's new teacher orientation, where Team GCPS welcomed both new and veteran educators. So to every teacher joining or returning to Team GCPS this year, here's what I hope for you. I hope you experience support that shows up before you ever have to ask for it. An LEA who finds you and walks you through the IEP process step by step. A course team, now called Professional Learning Community, that meets with you every week and shows up for you any day in between. A teacher mentor you can call when you need to navigate the day-to-day and who answers. I hope you experience the flexibility to reach a student the way you know will actually reach them, backed by a district that puts students first and lets the data drive decisions. And I hope you experience a sense of belonging, wrapped in a love that accepts and welcomes all of who you are, including how you pray or worship. And as you teach the AKS, I look forward to hearing about the amazing things that you do this year to reach each and every student. And lastly, I hope you rest. I hope you unwind and unplug when you need to, because this profession is hard and burnout is real. Madam Chair, I also want to extend an invitation to the Decula Archer communities. I have had the honor of serving on Gwinnett County's Harbins-Alcovy Community Advisory Committee. This work will shape the future of the Decula area as our county balances growth and preservation, how it grows and what it protects while it does. So the committee's next meeting is scheduled for next week, July 22nd, from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at Decula High School. I want to see more Decula Archer students and families in attendance. And for folks who are unable to attend, the county, Gwinnett County government, has an email address where you can submit comments, haplan@gwinnettcounty.com. Finally, I want to formally welcome our new superintendent, Dr. Alexandra Estrella. Dr. Estrella, I'm so glad that you are here. I commend the work that you are already doing to move this district forward. And I saw an example of that work earlier this week at our work session. Our new Superintendent Transition Planning Task Force is comprised of 160 individuals with representation from each of the 5 board districts. It is made up of teachers, counselors, and special entity principals such as Give East Centers, Oakland Meadow principals, paraprofessionals, and other GCPS staff, students, parents, community members, and national experts. It will help inform our new strategic plan, which will move in step with our equity study and audit, a close look at academics like MTSS, special education, discipline, and AP and honors access, and at resource allocation, whether our dollars are actually where our priorities are. So Dr. Estrella, once again, I'm so glad that you are here. I commend you for what you've already done. to move this district forward. I'm looking forward to your continued perspective and leadership as you continue to bring to the nearly 179,000 students and to the future communities, counting on all of us to get this right. Thank you, Madam Chair. I yield my time.
Thank you all for coming out, and for those who spoke, always appreciate your comments and for taking the time to let us know your thoughts and your feelings. Similar to my colleague, Ms. Stone, exciting times when new teacher orientation rolls around. And I think the numbers were somewhere close to 1,200, which is great that we have that many, but it also is great that it's a lot lower than it was a few years ago, meaning we're retaining our teachers better, and folks are staying here and continuing to contribute. But that also prompts me to make sure to say to our staff, and those of you, sorry that you're here in this room instead of enjoying your summer. But I hope you've had a chance to enjoy your summer, all of our staff, not just those here that I'm able to address, and hope that you found some rest and that you've found some rejuvenation and that you are ready, because before you know it, the new school year is upon us. And lastly, I do want to welcome Dr. Estrella. And I take a little offense at an assumption that I joined into something in hiring Dr. Estrella, because it was evident to me, based upon our interview and the opportunity to get to know her, that she's committed to student performance, that she is committed to excellence, and she's committed to closing gaps. And she's demonstrated her ability to close gaps, especially in special ed and multilingual learners, two of the areas that we have large populations in Gwinnett, and if we're going to succeed, need to show performance gains in those areas. So welcome to GCPS. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you've brought your expertise. I'm glad you've chosen to come to the Southeast in the humidity and endure our hot summers, because I know at the end of the day, your heart is to see our students succeed. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
So today we had an opportunity to hear from staff on our latest cybersecurity update, and I wanted to share a few points from the highlights from this report, because it was fascinating to hear all of the work that goes behind the scenes to protect our district from intruders, from malware, from anything that would really restrict our systems from operating properly and potentially cost us millions of dollars to break free. So a couple highlights that I want to share. I'm sorry? Oh, and I think you can? Okay. All right. I was just going to share some of our awards that we won, really, just the awards. Yeah. All right. We'll keep the awards to ourselves then. We won awards. So we won cybersecurity awards. So I'll keep it at that. My apologies. All right. Kind of moving on. Thank you to all of our speakers that came tonight. I genuinely always speak about how our teachers and our students are the livelihood and lifeblood of our district. And I support all. I support all teachers, and I support all teacher voices, and I also support our students and their voice. So that will never change for me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making your voice heard. It is appreciated that we hear what is going on at the ground level in your world. And wanted to just a point of personal privilege, thank you to Ms. Vasquez, one of our speakers tonight, for her military service. It's always great to have our folks here come and step in front of the board. And then my comments are brief tonight. I will join my other two fellow board members in welcoming Dr. Estrella to Gwinnett County Public Schools, to Georgia. You did truly demonstrate everything that my fellow board members had mentioned in terms of having a positive impact on student achievement, really having an impact on our multilingual learner, which is important in this district. And I want to support you, and I stand behind you, and I welcome you to our district. and I wish nothing but the best for you and our school system. So thank you for being here, and I yield back.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. Dr. Estrella, welcome. I'm so excited for you to be here on the ground with us. You have actually been at work hard with us since we named you back in March. And I just want to acknowledge that you are very intentional about the work that you are beginning to lead. Very intentional. I love how data focused you've been already. I love that you are very clear in your vision for our district and that you are focusing on listening and learning. You understand the importance of hearing from our community and doing things with our community and not to our community, and I commend you for that, and I look forward to the work ahead. So welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you that did not get a chance to listen to the work session, there was a lot of information shared around the transition task force that is shaping up, the first meeting being in August. We also have an equity audit as well as a study that we're going to be sharing more about along the way that's going to feed ultimately into our strategic plan that will roll out next year. So I just really appreciate how we are synthesizing our efforts, how we are aligning all of our initiatives so that we ultimately end up with a very coherent plan that is going to reflect the voice of the community. And speaking of community, I just love how everybody showed up tonight and really shared the beauty of the people here in Gwinnett. Having been able to talk to board members across the state and the country, we often hear about the dissent and how people show up to vent and to express disdain. What I saw tonight here was just a plethora of comments around why our community is special, why we love the people in our community, how diversity is a strength, and how we will continue to leverage that in the best interest of our kids. So despite the differences, when people talk about the differences of race, culture, ethnicity, language, socioeconomic status, I just want to say thank you all for showing up today to show how we are the same when it comes to our love for people, our love for students, and our appreciation for diversity in Gwinnett County. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, board members. I also want to share the support for Dr. Estrella and welcome Dr. Estrella to Gwinnett County Public Schools. We are super excited. You have been working with us for a long time. It feels like you've been here since we signed the contract, and you've been working, engaging, and long distance managing 2 school systems and trying to help as best as you can. And now you're here. It's been only 2.5 weeks. So 2 weeks, that's it, y'all. So we are super excited, and you have hit the ground running, really intentionally listening to our community members, engaging with every level of the organization. And I know y'all, people are waiting. She'll get to y'all. There's so much to do, and you are here, and I just appreciate your authenticity and how you really care about listening to the needs of the community, figuring out ways on how you can be inclusive of community voices. And you all will see that in the transition plan. You'll see that in the work that she's doing from the transition plan, strategic plan, and also the equity work. So we're super excited about now, moving forward. And our leadership conference, summer conference shared this idea around focus forward. I encourage you all to listen to Dr. Estrella's words. It's recorded, just wonderful, powerful words around moving and focusing forward. She also shares about herself and plans for our district. So I'm just super excited to continue to learn and grow and work with you. And again, welcome to GCPS. I want to also comment, when I was at the Summer Leadership Conference, I attended a session. It's just really, really powerful session. And one speaker talked about marigolds and how marigolds really are, flowers that contribute to the growth of the garden. It feeds into the other plants and it helps them grow. And there's so much power in thinking about how when we consider ourselves as marigolds and being the garden and being that plant that can nourish other people around us. And the purpose is for nourishment. The purpose is to help the garden grow. And that is so very powerful. And when I think about our teachers, that's the power that our teachers have to our students, is feeding into them and helping them grow. And we also know that our core beliefs and values and commitments talk about putting students first. So if we put students first, we must also understand that there is a direct connection to support the needs of our teachers and our educational support professionals. Because when they're happy, we also know that it impacts the quality of learning environment for our students and our students' benefit. So I hope that you all can take that power of being the Mighty Goal and continue to reach and teach into the classroom, continue to make a difference. And to that note, we do have a very diverse community. Gwinnett is one of the most diverse communities in the nation, and that is our strength. And it extends beyond the classroom, it's into the community. And I want to encourage us to continue to look at ways on how we can boldly and unapologetically support everyone. Support our teachers. We had people talk about different experiences, but it's important for us to understand that there is no place for hate or discrimination, and that every student and every teacher, every ESP, deserves the dignity and the respect. And they must also know that they belong. They must also know that they are safe to be who they are. So many people in our community are carrying really heavy burdens. They're carrying the weight of racism, Islamophobia, xenophobia, anti-Semitism, anti-Blackness, and so many other forms of hatred. And we're living in times of uncertainty on many different groups, from various realities, from children who have gone missing, from attacks of our Black students and Black youth who are gone missing, from people who are fearing ICE terrorism in their communities, from people who are really struggling around economics because of the anti-Black racism that's happening, because of the Islamophobia and the fear we have around people being able to observe their faith in a safe space. This is the reality, but we must understand when we together honor and respect the dignity of one another and understand that we are all connected. Your fight is mine. What you go through, I go through. What I stand with your community because you stand with mine, and even if you don't stand with mine, I do the right thing and stand up for humanity. And that is the work that calls us to do as a people, because truly no one is free until we are all free. We fight together, we stand together. Thank you. Dr. Estrella?
Good evening, everyone. I'd first like to start off by thanking the board for entrusting me with this important work of leading the district to ensure that every child in our community has what they need to succeed. I've had such an incredible experience thus far. Thank you to the community for the warm welcome through the town halls and the different engagements that I've had the opportunity to already embrace. I think one of the most special moments this week was the new teacher orientation, when I had the opportunity to welcome all of our new teachers across our district. One, because I had the opportunity to see the rich diversity within our community, exemplified within the people that were in front of me, and also having the opportunity to speak and engage with them, learning from where they were from and looking at the different walks of life that different people within the teaching profession were coming and choosing us as a place to be. One, because of the exceptional systems and structures that we've established, but most importantly because they wanted to serve a diverse population of students. So thank you to those educators that have chosen us to join and become part of our amazing family. I also want to just give some context about some of the things that I've done thus far. We've been busy at work formulating our transition team. Like Board Member Stones articulated, we have over 160 members within the community that stem from students, teachers, paraeducators, bus drivers, administrators, the gamut. Because to me, it's really important to have a full representation of our community speaking and advocating to the things that we need to do next to strengthen the work across Gwinnett County Public Schools. I've also engaged in the work that the board has put forward on the equity study, the equity audit, but also an equity study to look at disproportionality metrics across the organization and assess what we need to do to strengthen practices. And in the next few days, I will be engaging in my listening and learning tour. During the work session, I spoke about the dates that I will be engaging in those conversations, and I look forward to having all of the constituents participate in the dialogue because it will inform the work that will help us pave the path for the next 5 years within our next strategic plan. So we have a beautiful opportunity to gather data and information that will inform the work ahead. So with that, I just want to end with saying that one of the reasons why I came to Gwinnett was because of its beautiful diversity, and I believe diversity is our strength. Our differences are not barriers to overcome, they are strengths to embrace. Every culture, every language, every experience, every perspective broadens our understanding, enriches our learning, and makes us stronger together. United by a shared purpose, we are committed to ensuring every student is known, valued, and empowered to succeed. Thank you for your trust in me, and I look forward to being your superintendent for many years.
Thank you, Thank you, Dr. Estrella, and again, welcome. If there is no further business, I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn this business meeting of the Gwinnett County Board of Education.
Is there a second? Second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. It's unanimous. Thank you for attending tonight's board meeting. The board Superintendent Dr. Estrella and I appreciate your attendance and interest in Gwinnett County Public Schools. As our public meeting has concluded, this facility will be closing in 2 minutes. 20 minutes, y'all. I'm joking. You have 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, y'all. Enjoy.